at all. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fantasy NBA Today, a Sports Ethos presentation brought to you by our great partners at FanDuel. My name is Aaron Bruski, joined as always by the great Steve, Dr. A. Alexander. And if you're looking for actionable fantasy basketball advice to help you win your league, you're in the right place. Let's get to it. Doc, who is your top ad after last night?
I think Najee Marshall should be rostered in most leagues. He had 15 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, a 3-pointer. He's scoring every night. He's doing other stuff every night. I mean, he's not great at anything, but he's sort of okay at everything. And I just think he's a solid player that's available in a lot of leagues.
Hello, by the way, sir. And I agree. Najee Marshall has been just killing it. Top 75 guy lately. Hit 70% of his shots last night. My God, this guy just doesn't ever miss. A guy we haven't seen very often lately, DeAndre Hunter, showed up on the ad list. I just wanted to shout him out. 27 points, 5 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 4 threes, 26 minutes. And unfortunately, Jalen Tyson, 0 points and just a terrible stat line other than the 3 steals. 20 minutes. Cleveland got the win that they needed. And DeAndre Hunter going off. I don't know if this is a part of the chemistry that needs to take place for them to win again, but DeAndre Hunter back on the radar. Now, he's not a big fantasy guy. He doesn't have a lot of great defensive stats, generally relies on scoring to get it done. So I need to see a lot more out of DeAndre Hunter before I'm going to recommend a big time ad here. But if this is a part of a trend and they certainly need some scores, DeAndre Hunter is at least on the radar. And as far as Jalen Tyson goes, it's going to take a lot more than one bad game for me to get off of Jalen Tyson. So do not drop is the advice there. Doc, who else is on your ad list for tonight?
Well, and let's not forget they were playing the Hornets, the 9-win Hornets, and Darius Garland also went off. But anyway, speaking of the Hornets, Cedric Coward of the Memphis Grizzlies, 16 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, a block, 2 threes. Like, that's a big game from Cedric Coward. He's shown flashes all season. I like him. I have some trust issues with him, but he's been pretty good. I kind of like Cedric Coward, and he had a great game last night.
Yeah, I mean, we need to see these big popcorn stats, 8 boards, 6 assists. We need to see that because he only gets you 1 block. You know, these defensive stats aren't coming this season, and the big numbers, though, certainly help out a lot. I do think he's a must-roster player, by the way, and I love your hat, Doc. AJ Mitchell is next up on my list. 16 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 3, 22 minutes, hit most of his shots, 54% from the field, and also left in the fourth quarter with an undisclosed issue of some type. And there's absolutely zero reporting on it. My sense is that it's probably nothing, but something we'll keep an eye on. And I had AJ Mitchell high in my my waiver wire ranks just yesterday or the day before. And he is just got that staying power. It kind of just feels like he will be the one constant on this team at a late round value. You know, no matter if the big names play or if the big names sit, it's AJ Mitchell that's going to get this level of production the rest of the way. And it just is. So AJ Mitchell might have been dropped in a lot of formats. I think AJ Mitchell is a must roster player as a late round value for the foreseeable future. Doc, you got anybody else you want to shout out?
I got 2 honorable mentions. Hugo Gonzalez is a guy that's probably available in your league. 6 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, a steal, 2 blocks. That's 3 good games in a row. He's actually playing pretty well. And I think if you're in a deep league and you're just looking for a live body to add to your squad, Hugo Gonzalez qualifies. And then I got to shout out my boy Moussa Diabate. I said he was the play of the night, basically, last night with no Ryan Kalkbrenner. He only had 5 points, which was kind of a buzzkill, but he had 14 rebounds, 2 assists, and 6 steals.
Beautiful call. I noticed that you didn't appreciate my sweatshirt, my ugly sweater here, and I'm very upset, Doc. I will also shout out Hugo Gonzalez. He's been a great player this season for the Celtics, sometimes not getting the minutes, but the stuff that he does, I mean, it just shows up on film, and now it's showing up in the box score. So Hugo Gonzalez probably was all the way off the radar for me, even after the second good game. I needed to see more than that. But this one, he puts him on the radar. And if he could just keep up with the defensive stats and just get you a little something else in the box score, deep league GMs will certainly take notice of that. I'm going to just mention the name Ethan Thompson. I actually don't know who Ethan Thompson is, and I don't have any background on his basketball game whatsoever, but he's producing for the Indiana Pacers at 13-4-4 last night. I do wonder about Andrew Nembhard's knee, though Nembhard was a little spicy in the box score. Between he and TJ McConnell, Nembhard and TJ McConnell, it's just a banged up bunch. If somebody can reach up there, Quentin Jackson, if somebody can get up there and replace those guys, there could be some fantasy value on the line. I'll definitely do some Ethan Thompson film watching at some point in the next week, just so I know who Ethan Thompson is. But good job, Ethan Thompson. You made it on the show. Quick reminder before we hit the drop zone, if this is helping your team, it really helps us out if you subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today pod feed and the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Doc, who's your first player in the drop zone?
Brew, you mentioned the hat I'm wearing. It is a Santa Claus hat. It does say Doc on it. I do tend to go by Santa Doc at this time of the year. And Brew is wearing some sort of Christmas
abomination.
All I can see.
Terrible. There's a Grinch on it.
Is it a Grinch? Okay. All I could see was the Grinch's hat. Hey, that looks like me.
Grinch. I'm a naughty Grinch.
That looks a lot like me. So we're in the Christmas spirit over here.
Deliver some gifts.
I'm going to talk about Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper has shown up on the waiver wire in a couple of my leagues, and I've got an extra roster spot. So guess what I'm doing? I'm picking up Dylan Harper, but I mention him here because it has not been pretty lately for Dylan Harper. He played 18 minutes in each of his last two games. And before that, he played 23 minutes. And before that, it was 28. The first 18-minute game, he hit 3 of 6 shots, 6 points, 3 boards, 4 assists. That was it. And then Sunday against Washington, Dylan Harper bottomed out. He was 0 for 6, 1 point, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. That's 2 terrible games in a row. But his 2 games before that were 21 and 24 points, solid rebounds, and a bunch of 3-pointers, 8 3-pointers in those 2 games. So I think if Dylan Harper gets dropped in your league, you want to look at picking him up.
Yeah, I think they're maybe being too nice in San Antonio and passing the ball too much. And it's just leading to everybody's getting in on the action. And sometimes against a bad team, especially in Washington, you're going to have a bad box score show up. It's not about Dylan Harper not being good enough to produce. It's the situation is really tough. I actually downgraded my expectation for him as a prior late round value going forward to something around the 150, 160 mark. Hopefully he can bounce back. I've got Draymond Green in my drop zone, 9.7 boards, 2 assists last night. One argument with Steve Kerr. And he did not return.
And one court exit, right? Didn't he leave?
One court exit, didn't even come back. And everybody talked about it after the game, and it was just classic Golden State. If you're, especially as a Warriors fan here, you've seen this stuff so many times. Steph looked like I don't know if he wasn't to say cry. He wanted to just die out there on the podium. Like, I'm talking about this guy again. So expect a bounce back from Draymond Green, probably in the next one. And at the same time, all of this comes with very low Draymond Green antics so far this season and not a lot of production out of him. Now the antics are going to kick in. Oh boy, buckle up for the last half of the season. Let's see if the Golden State bunch can hold it together. But I'm definitely fine if you move on from Draymond Green. Doc, who do you got next in the drop zone?
Well, another guy that's shown up on the waiver wire in my leagues. I put in a bid for him last night. My friend Bo from the band My Morning Jacket had a higher waiver priority and got Jordan Walsh. And that was heartbreaking. I really wanted Jordan Walsh. But if you look at Jordan Walsh, the reason he is in the drop zone is his last 3 games. He scored 8, 6, and 0 points. And then he missed Monday with an illness. So that's 4 games in a row of basically nothing from Jordan Walsh. Just like Dylan Harper, I'm not terribly worried about Jordan Walsh. I think Jordan Walsh is going to be fine until Jason Tatum comes back, if Jason Tatum comes back. But he's just in a funk right now. And I don't know exactly why that is. Brew, I don't know if you have any
Yeah,
ideas.
he's actually sick as a dog. He's out today. Or wait, no, Monday. He was
He
out
was out
Monday. I'm
Monday,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yes.
misread something. But I'm giving him a pass for that. I think whatever is going around the NBA this time of the year is, it's debilitating enough to keep somebody out of a basketball game, especially a guy like Jordan Walsh. He wants to play right now. The momentum's good. He wants to be on the floor. So I'm going to cut him some slack, but you're not.
So Brew, Josh Minot was the talk of the town early.
The belle of the
and
ball.
then Jordan Walsh kind of made that go away. And now Jordan Walsh has disappeared for 3 or 4 games in a row. And suddenly Hugo Gonzalez is the guy we're talking about. So do you think there's any chance that Hugo Gonzalez is a threat to Jordan Walsh?
Yes, absolutely. And so we got to be on lookout. I just don't want to ding Jordan Walsh for being sick. It'd be too easy for him to come back, step into his prior role with solid late round value, like solid late round value in the 9-cat formats. And I know it trends towards roto a little bit, but the head-to-head stuff, you can shake a stick at almost 4 threes, steals, and blocks per game, but those are 3 categories that absolutely count. The percentages, they do count. If you're dodging them, great, I get it. But now you're talking about 5 categories that he's good in, and then the 6th category for turnovers. So he's really just not good in 3, and he's probably not as bad as I'm making it out to be, since he gets some boards and whatnot. But it's a risk. I think Hugo's a really good basketball player. He does a lot of things coaches love, and they might find a way to just get him on the court for somebody else though, and let Jordan Walsh have his minutes as well. So we'll see. I'll take us to Tamani Kamara. Feel free to add anything, Doc, if you want. 8 points, 2 boards, nothing else, 2 threes. It's been a really rough season for Tamani Kamara, and I just don't know exactly what's what there. I don't see as many Tamani Kamara defensive highlights as I've seen in the past. He's just not out there popping. Last season, I would watch him on the court. He was jumping off the screen. This year, it's just not there. It might be the mix of players. I don't know what it is. If you need to drop Tamani Kamara in a league where top 125 value is kind of the bottom barrel of what can play, I think you can consider doing this. He might turn it on at some point in time at the rest of the season. I'm just not seeing enough reason to go through this exercise. If it's not working out for you in a head-to-head format, especially in a roto format, I might be a little bit more willing to hold here. But Kamara, there's not as many 9-cat roto formats out there. There's usually 8-cat roto formats. And even in that format, Tamani's struggling a bit. So if you moved on, I wouldn't be mad at you. I'll put it that way. Doc, you got any honorable mentions before we go to streamers?
I do not.
I'll shout out Danny Gafford for being in the drop zone. 3 and 5 last night, 2 steals, nothing else, 14 minutes. He's got to have a good one at some point. If it doesn't happen here really, really soon, like on Christmas Day, then I think I'm done bringing him up as a player that you need to stash and hold and look for that upside. And then Kyle Filipowski had a slow one, and that's because Yusuf Nurkic played a lot last night. We're going to shift gears, and I'll probably talk about Kyle Filipowski at some point here in the next hour or so. We're going to shift gears and get into the streamers for tonight. But before we do that, if you're watching on Twitter, head on over to the SportsEthos YouTube channel, subscribe, and make sure you're dialed into all of our daily content. Now, we got 14 games today. And unless you have several Warriors or Celtics on your roster or need to fill a very specific position, you're not going to be looking to stream. Because of that, our approach to streamers today is to focus on players who play both tonight and on Christmas. That way, with one ad, you can get the 2 games and the extra production. This approach has you covered for tonight's slate and Christmas Day. Doc, who is your top streamer for tonight and Christmas Day?
If you look at the Los Angeles Lakers depth chart right now, there's a bunch of big red flags next to guys' names. Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent. All those guys are hurt right now and may not be playing tonight. And maybe I'm guessing some of them are going to play on Christmas. I have a feeling we're going to see Luka on Christmas Day. But Marcus Smart looks like a good play right now. He was 0 for 9 from 3-point land and 1 for 12 from the field in his last game, or that would have been a big line had he made some shots. But he played 31 minutes in that one. The game before, he had 17 points. The game before that, he filled the stat sheet, 8 points, 4 boards, 6 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, a 3. So that was good. And then the game before that was when he blew up and hit 8 3-pointers. So I think with all those guys injured for the Lakers, Marcus Smart looks real good. And I'm just going to throw it out there right now while we're talking about the Lakers. Jake LaRavia is another guy that I think is a pretty good play today and Christmas Day with so many injuries in LA.
Yeah, 2 games, you're going to get maybe one good one and maybe one mediocre one, and that turns into a good one. I'm going to take Cam Johnson, knowing that Denver's about to get some guys back pretty soon. We haven't seen too much reporting on Aaron Gordon with the national media in town for Christmas Day. I would imagine they'd leak something out probably pretty soon here about Aaron Gordon, and that's going to put the timer on Cam Johnson. And I think sometimes you see, not all the time, teams will reward a guy like that and say, we know that the shots are going to dry up for you pretty soon here, so let's go out and get you some more. He's been a bit of a mixed bag lately, mixing good games with bad games, but I think Cam Johnson's got a few more bullets left there. Doc, who's your next streamer for tonight?
I am going to go with Peyton Watson, who he's been all over the place this season. There were times where I thought he was a can't miss, must own player. And there's been other times where he's just sort of, I don't know, like his last game, 5 points, 6 minutes. Now that was obviously there was a problem with his minutes in that one, but he's had some single digit scoring games and some, I don't know, he's just kind of been all over the place. But Monday night against Utah, he had 20 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, a block, a steal, 3 threes, hit 7 of 9 shots. He's, in my mind, that means he's hot. So Peyton Watson.
I love it. I'm going to throw Sam Merrill's name out there. I was actually shocked to see Sam Merrill playing in a basketball game the other day. Not only can he get you the 3-pointers, but he had previously been doing it at a mid-round level and getting you a lot of 3-pointers before getting hurt. Cleveland needs that punch at this time as much as any point in time we've seen them in the last couple of years here. So not only will you might possibly get the 3-pointers that you're streaming for in this situation, but you might actually have a rest of season player that we just haven't seen a lot of in a long time. So Sam Merrill hits the list here. Doc, you got any honorable mentions?
I think Julian Champagnie is interesting. The Spurs played on Monday night. They play on Tuesday night, and then they play on Christmas. So we could see guys like Victor Wembanyama sit, maybe even De'Aaron Fox. I don't know. That's just a hunch. But makes Julian Champagnie kind of interesting to me. I've said that he is my favorite burrito brother. So I like Julian Champagnie. And then I just want to real quickly say that Dallas plays on Tuesday and Christmas Day. So a combination of Brandon Williams and Ryan Nembhard, they're going to be the point guards for Dallas. So if you need a guard, go ahead and check them out.
Stream them both. You get the entire point guard position, all your own. I'm not endorsing that, but I do agree that both of them are good streamers for this 2-day stretch. Wemby was at shoot around is some news that's kind of flashing by the screen right now. Still questionable, but it does make a lot of sense that they would rest him in this game so they could be ready for Christmas Day. I like Dylan Harper as a streamer. We talked about it a little bit. It's been bad. I think he's going to have a bounce back in there. You get 2 games, especially if they're down Wemby. I think it would be kind of borderline crazy to play Wemby in this game here tonight, but maybe they'll just do the low minute thing. Low and slow is the way to go. DeAndre Hunter for points and threes. I think a follow-up there might be interesting to check into to get the old 2-for-1. And that's going to do it for this episode of Fantasy NBA. Today, we will have the 2-for-1 on the other side of this show, where we will take a deeper look at tonight's action and as at the leagues at large. And if you're listening on the pod feed, take 60 seconds, leave a 5-star review. It really helps us out. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the SportsEthos channel so you never miss an episode. From Steve, Andre, and all of us here at SportsEthos, we will be back with our daily fantasy deep dive. This has been Fantasy NBA Today, presented by FanDuel.
19 and a half minutes